Hello, medicos. This is a session on hyperplasia. So, what do you mean by the word hyperplasia? Hyper is increase and plasia is number of cells. So, there is increase in the number of cells in an organ or tissue, which results in increase in the size or mass of the organ, and this might be due to either of the differentiated cells, or it might be due to less differentiated progenitor cells. So remember one point, that this hyperplasia cannot occur in permanent cells because these permanent cells do not divide. Hyperplasia mainly occurs in dividing cells. So what are the main causes of hyperplasia? First is the physiological cause, enlarged size of uterus during the pregnancy. So in the physiological cause, there are two main important processes. First is due to hormonal stimulation, or it might be a compensatory process. First one is hyperplasia, which occurs mainly due to hormones. First is hyperplasia of the female breast at puberty, lactation and pregnancy. We can see that there is changes in the breast size and increase in the number of cells during puberty, pregnancy and lactation due to hyperplasia. Second one is hyperplasia of the uterus during pregnancy. Why does the size of the uterus increase during pregnancy? One is due to development and growth of the fetus inside the mother's womb and due to estrogenic stimulation. Moving on to the third point, that is compensatory hyperplasia. So what do you mean by compensatory hyperplasia? It is a process where there is proliferation of the cell, but they maintain their differentiated structure and function. So the best example is regeneration of the liver, kidney marrow hyperplasia and partial hepatectomy. As you can see in this diagram, donor's liver immediately after donation, only half of the lobe is left. But donor's liver 2 months after donation, you can see that the liver has generated its another half side. Similar way, you can also see in the partial hepatectomy. So when there is partial hepatectomy done, you can see there is recovery of the other part in 15 days. You can see there is recovery of the other half within 15 days. So this is called as compensatory hyperplasia. Next is pathological causes. So the very important pathological cause is the hormonal excess. So it is mainly seen in the endometrial hyperplasia, where there is increase in the estrogenic hormone concentration and causes endometrial hyperplasia. And also in prostatic hyperplasia, it is also called as benign prostatic hyperplasia. It mainly occurs due to increase in the hormonal concentration, that is mainly dihydrotestosterone. Remember this hormone, it's a very important hormone, that is dihydrotestosterone. Due to increase in the dihydrotestosterone concentration, it causes prostatic hyperplasia, and there will be development of benign or malignant tumor cells in the prostate. It also might be due to certain viral infections like the human papilloma virus, which is mainly causing the warts. It is also due to liver cirrhosis, where the liver is not able to metabolize the endogenous estrogen. Very important. So, where the liver is not capable of metabolizing the endogenous estrogen, and therefore leads to the accumulation of this endogenous estrogen. It is also due to gynecomastia. So gynecomastia is nothing but it's the development of breast in male, and there will be enlargement of breast in male. So next is due to any chronic injury or inflammation, the endometrial hyperplasia might turn into endometrial cancer when there is presence of atresia also and hyperplasia also. So it might cause endometrial cancer. Moving on, so this is the best example where you can see the endometrial hyperplasia. This is the normal endometrium, and there is increase in the number of endometrial cells in this diagram. So mechanism of hyperplasia. So hyperplasia mainly occurs when there is cell proliferation. So the cells will proliferate and there will be increase in the production of the transcription factors. So when there is increase in the production of transcription factors, which is mainly due to activation of transduction pathway. When there is activation of transduction pathway, it increases the transcription factors and leads to cell proliferation. These might occur mainly due to increase in the production of growth factors, first point, or there might be increase in the level of growth factor receptors, or there might be activation of intracellular signaling. Due to all these conditions, there will be activation of the signal transduction pathway due to the transcription factors, which will cause cell proliferation and cause hyperplasia. So, cell proliferation occurs due to stimulation of the growth factors, hormones, receptors, and causes hyperplasia. Might be due to the surviving mature cells or stem cells, which will cause the receptor stimulation, and therefore it induces the transduction pathway and causes cell proliferation and leads to hyperplasia. So as you can see, the gross and microscopical features. So in the gross, you can see there will be gray white nodular hyperplasia, and in the mainly in the periurethral zone. As you can see, the presence of nodules, you can see the gray white nodules, and there will be increase in the number of cells in the prostatic region. This is the best example, that is prostatic hyperplasia. So since there is enlargement of these periurethral zone region, you can notice that there is hyperplasia. In the microscope, you can see that there is hyperplastic cystic glands. There will be presence of cystic glands. As you can notice here, there is presence of cystic glands and normal double layered epithelium, and there is a normal double layered epithelium. Moving on to some more morphological features, that is, you can see that this hyperplastic nodules are composed of variable proportions of proliferating glandular elements, important, and it is also composed of the fibromuscular stroma. So the hyperplastic glands are lined by tall columnar epithelial cells and peripheral layer of flattened basal cells. So as you can notice, there will be tall columnar cells with peripherally placed flattened basal nucleus. So the glandular lumina often contains incipitated proteinaceous secretory material. Very, very important. So this glandular lamina contains the proteinaceous secretory material. What is it called? It is called as corpora amylaceae. Remember this word, corpora amylaceae. So there is presence of corpora amylaceae in the glandular lamina. So as you can notice in this diagram, so this is the healthy cell, this is a healthy cell which is normal in size. So what is hypertrophy? As I've described in the previous session, that is, there is increase in the size of the cell, that is increase in the size of the cell, whereas hyperplasia is the one where there is increase in the number of cells. So there is increase in the number of cells, do not confuse. Trophy refers to increase in the size of the cell, whereas plasia refers to increase in the number of cells. So that's it. So I hope you have understood this session. So please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you.